Hi, and welcome to the Fab Feral 5 Dad's Kitchen. I'm Fab Feral 5 Dad. Why Fab Feral 5, you ask? Well, I have 5 kids, and they are fabulous. And they're also feral, Fab Feral 5. That's the name of my YouTube channel. Now, I am not a professional chef, and honestly, I am barely a home cook. But I have spent 30 years cooking for my wife and my kids, and I've learned a few things along the way. And this YouTube channel hopefully will impart some of those things I've learned. I have fun cooking. I enjoy building dishes and building flavors, and I find it interesting. Maybe you will too. I have a couple of thoughts on some series of videos that I'll put on this channel. One is basically reaching out to my kids. I mean, we don't have home ec in school these days, but when I was a kid, home ec was absolutely one of the classes that we took, that and wood shop and auto mechanic. Now, I mean, if somebody wants to learn something, they look it up on YouTube. So here I am approaching my kids through the environment, through the medium that they're comfortable with, which is YouTube. Call this a e-home ec class for my kids. When I was growing up, the kitchen was the hub. I mean, family time was while my mom and dad were cooking, or while my grandma was cooking when we were visiting my grandma. Some of the best memories of my life are those moments in the kitchen, not just the cooking part or the eating part, which I also very much enjoyed, but also, or more so, just the togetherness and the time we spent together, and those are memories that I'll always have. My kids, you know, they're tuned into their phone or on their TV in their room, streaming whatever the latest craze is, and don't get a chance to talk with them and have them around while I'm cooking. And also, they don't see me cooking and learn things from me. So hopefully this will teach them a few things and maybe enjoyable to you as well. Today, I'm going to start with something that is near and dear to, I think, all families, definitely my family. You know, I'm guilty. I have leaned on this many times over the course of the last 30 years, both for my wife and I, and for my kids, mainly for my kids. The infamous McDonald's takeout. Tonight I'm going to go with cheeseburger. It's my son's favorite. It's a fan favorite, right? My son's favorite is a plain cheeseburger. That's it, from McDonald's. So I am going to use this as my control. I'm going to create 2 additional burgers in the kitchen. 1 frozen, 1 fresh ground beef patted out. I'll talk a little bit about the costs of each and why it's so expensive to eat out all the time. Not to mention if you get delivery, astronomical costs if you get DoorDash or Grubhub, which, you know, again, guilty. I've been lazy in my day and said I just don't feel like cooking or driving out to get something, so call up DoorDash. Well, I'll tell you, it's expensive. This burger right here costs $3.50 in the Seattle area. I'm in Houston, and that's why I'm talking over the camera to my kids. They're in Seattle. My wife and kids are in Seattle, where we live. I work here in Houston, and so as a weekend fun item, I'm going to do some videos for my kids. I'll also do some other series videos. I've got a whole list of ideas that I'll do and post those on as well. Hopefully it's well received. Again, I'm not professional in any way. I just like to cook. So anyway, this burger, $3.50 pickup in Seattle area. In Seattle, if you were to have this delivered alone, 1 burger, because of all the fees and the delivery charges, it's about $20 for a burger. That doesn't even count any tip you want to leave the driver. We all know, have seen some of those reels and YouTube videos and such about what drivers will do to your food if you don't leave them a good tip. So my choice is just stay away from the delivery. I'll go out and get it sometimes, but usually I like to make it. In fact, I prefer to make food in the kitchen. So again, test sample is the McDonald's burger. I'll be making a frozen burger. Already patted out in the freezer, easy to throw in a pan. I'll talk about the cost of that while I'm making it, and also, as I said earlier, a fresh burger. And you can be the judge. Which one would you rather eat? So with that, I'm going to start prepping the items. I'll get them out on the table. You'll see what I'm cooking today and how I'm cooking it. And yeah, hopefully learn a few things. So stay tuned. Okay, today we're going pretty straightforward with our burgers. Just trying to stay in keeping with what this burger is, which is just a plain cheeseburger. So from a building block standpoint, I'm going to go with what is a 4-ounce called the smash burger patty, frozen, already patted out, and just a standard no frills bun that you can get. So they can get from any grocery store. For the gourmet burger, the more high-end burger, I'm going with an 85-15 ground beef. You can see that I got it on clearance. I try to shop on clearance wherever I can to save costs, and I think that's important. A lesson learned for my kids or anybody that's willing to learn. That you can, especially if you're going to cook it right away, there's no reason not to look at the reduced section in a grocery store, because this is, well, it doesn't say what it cost originally, but I believe, if I recall, this was like $8.99 a pound. So this is a pound of ground beef for $5.44. And then here's another clearance item that I located. Get this in the camera correctly. So you can see that this is originally $4.99 with the discount card or the customer card, reduced down to $2. And these are what is called gourmet buns, bakery buns with sesames on top. So this is going to be my gourmet burger, and this will be my easy, quick, home fast food burger. And then, of course, McDonald's for the control. For the cheeseburger, to make it a cheeseburger, obviously it needs cheese. And so for the frozen burger, I'll be using a piece of Kraft single cellophane wrapped cheese, American cheese. And for the more gourmet burger, the hand patted out burger, I'll be using a piece of deli sliced American cheese. At the end, I'll also put on some tomato and onion and pickle, ketchup and mustard. Those are the things that I like to have on my burger. You can do that with a McDonald's burger too at home. So, I mean, I don't feel like I'm going off the mark by adding those to the other burgers. But again, just to reiterate, my son likes just a plain cheeseburger. So we'll start there, and then we'll add some condiments at the end. Okay, I'm going to start prepping the stovetop, and I'll bring the camera over and you can take a look. Okay, I've got both of these pans heating up over medium heat, medium-low heat. My stove tends to run a little hot, so for those of you who haven't cooked, my kids, for example, before, lighting a stove is as simple as clicking the starter and making sure that you've got the gas on, and then adjusting the flame to where you want it. So you can see that I've got just a low flame going on there, and I'm going to put the pan over that and let it preheat. I've done the same thing to this pan. The way I'm going to cook the two burgers is I'm going to cook the frozen burger in the non-stick pan, and I'm going to cook the hand patted out burger in the cast iron pan. Just to see if there's any difference between the two as far as the way they cook, the way they brown, and so on. Okay, I've let my pans heat up for about 5 minutes. I like to cook hamburgers on the stovetop. Now, grill is a different story. I like to go with the high heat on the grill, but for the stovetop, hamburgers can splatter a lot, as anybody that's tried to cook them on the stovetop knows. So I like to heat up the pan and then back off the heat just a little bit, so the frying doesn't splatter. The oil that's coming off doesn't splatter. Now, you know, I've got a pre-seasoned cast iron pan here, but so there's a little bit of oil in there, not a lot, just a wipe of oil, and nothing in the nonstick pan. There will be plenty of oil or grease that comes off the burgers themselves to keep things loose in the pans. So here's my frozen patty. I'm going to put this down. I've seasoned one side and then I'll season the other side as it's cooking. Press that down. You can hear the sizzle. That's about what you want. I mean, I don't want it to be like jumping out of the pan hot. So, and here's my hand patted ground beef. Again, I think I mentioned this earlier, but it's 85-15 ground beef. And I've seasoned one side of this with salt and pepper. And I'll just lay this in the skillet, let it go. And now I'll come back over both of these with just a little bit more salt on the other side. Make sure we got that salty flavor, which is always a good thing for burgers, and some fresh ground black pepper on both. Okay, we're just going to let this cook for a minute and brown, and we'll come back when we're ready to flip. Okay, I wanted to mention something that you can probably see on camera here. The frozen burger, you can see some of the white protein, I guess, leaching off of the burger there, and that's not happening here in the hand-patted burger, the fresh ground beef. That's albumin, and what that is it's a protein, egg white. You've probably heard that term used with egg whites. And that's a filler that is added to some meats to make it, I don't know, just the texture a little bit better. But you can definitely see in frozen foods that albumin likes to come out of the meat. I've seen that happen with salmon as well. It's edible. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's just protein. But you can definitely see the difference between the two. I've had this browning on one side for about 3, maybe 4 minutes, and so I think it's time to give it a turn. You can also see that I'm not splattering all over the place. Again, that has to do with managing the heat level when you're frying these. So we'll start with this guy. You could probably use a little more browning, but that's okay. We can give it another turn. And the cast iron pan. All right, so it's good to know. Now I could be a little different in my heat between the two of these because they're different locations on the stove top. But this one definitely has a better browning on it for now. Again, we'll make sure we cover both of these from a browning standpoint. I'm going to give this about another 3, maybe 4 minutes, and yeah, it should be very close to serving up on a bun. So we'll be back. Okay, I've had these going for about 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes. You can definitely see that there's a lot more oil that's coming off of this. This may be, I didn't look at the packaging, but it may be a higher fat content beef, where this is just a 15% fat. Honestly, I've got to tell you, this one looks pretty good to me, but both are going to be equally edible. Maybe one a little more edible than the other, but we'll be the judge of that in a moment. Okay, both these patties are done. I'm confident they're cooked through, and I've only flipped them the one time, as you saw. So what I'm going to do now is turn off the heat and just let the residual heat melt the cheese on top. So here's the single that's going on that burger, and here's the deli cut cheese going on that burger. And so I will just give these a bit of a cover and let the heat melt that cheese. I'll take the burgers off, let them rest a little bit. I want to toast the buns, and because I don't think a hamburger is a hamburger or a cheeseburger is a cheeseburger without a toasted bun. And so once the cheese melts, which it's already well on the way, as you can see, I think actually we are pretty close. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these off. Okay, I think we're in a pretty good place. I'm going to go ahead and pull the pull the burgers out. You can see that the residual heat in the non-stick was not exactly the same type of heat that we noticed in the cast iron, but it's still getting a little bit melty. Okay, I'm letting the burgers rest, and I've lit the stove on this side again because I want to brown these buns. I've got a little lightly buttered insides on both the gourmet bun and the normal bun, and so when those are done, we'll plate it up. Okay, we're back. Let me get, I got my buns toasted, as I mentioned earlier. Let me pull out our control burger. Yep, looks exactly like I expected it to look. So there's the fast food burger, McDonald's burger. Here is the frozen burger. And here is the hand patted out burger. Now I like to have some condiments on mine, but just in keeping, as you can see, I've got some onions and tomatoes here. I'll probably build these up. I got a little bit of shredded lettuce there. I'll put some ketchup and some mustard on mine. But from a comparison standpoint, which burger would you rather eat? So here's the McDonald's burger. Here's the frozen burger, the fast food burger cooked on the stovetop. And here's the more gourmet burger, hand patted out, fresh patty with a sesame seed bun. But before you answer which you'd rather eat, let me give you some information on these. Again, I think I mentioned earlier, this was a $3.75 hamburger picked up at the store in Seattle, more than that if you hadn't delivered. I costed out the components that go into these other two burgers. For this frozen patty burger, again, 4 ounces of ground beef, just a standard bun, and an American Craft single, $2.09. So $3.75, $2.09. This hand patted out burger, now granted I did shop and found a couple of reduced items. The ground beef was reduced and the bun was reduced. With that in mind, this is a $1.97 burger. Now I think from a taste standpoint, I'm going with this burger. Let's just cut into these so you can see how they turned out on the inside. And sure, we'll do the McDonald's burger as well, just for comparison's sake. But I think I'm going with the $1.97 burger. That's my episode for today. I hope you learned a little bit, and I'm going to enjoy some burger. I think I'll go with this one. See you next time.